when I made Food Inc., I didn't realize what a subversive topic food was. Ultimately, I think I could have had greater access to these corporations if I were doing a film about, nuclear terrorism. I would have, gained more access than I did in making a film about the food we eat. And that was a big surprise to me. It's good water. I think what's happening is ultimately we're subsidizing food that is making us sick. And we have to figure out how to put the carrots on an even playing field with the chips. Ultimately, I think it's wrong for us to be encouraging these two crops, corn and soy, which are not making us healthy, and for us as taxpayers to be paying for it on a number of levels. We're paying for it with our tax dollars to subsidize it, and we're also paying for it because of our healthcare costs, which are going to skyrocket. So we have to figure out how to start encouraging healthier foods.
Talk about that. Yesterday you brought this up multiple times, that the whole system is going to just go into financial meltdown because
the system we have is not sustainable. And ultimately, it's dependent on oil. The oil goes into the fertilizers that we're using and the pesticides, and it goes into the transportation. It goes into numbers of factors. But this system of farming we have is very oil intensive. So if you believe in peak oil, we're not going to be able to continue working with this system that much longer. It also pollutes the land. Our topsoil has been incredibly depleted since we've started farming this way, going into monocultures, or basically rotating corn and soy. It's not been healthy for the soil, and it's not been healthy for our water system. Our system of farming is dependent on illegal immigrants, people who were exploited to do jobs that, the vast majority of Americans don't want to do because it's such an unpleasant form of production. And it's not good for us as consumers. It's making us sick. So I think it's not sustainable and not leveled. So, on one hand, we're eating food for less than at any time in history, which is a great thing. But it's coming to us at sort of a high unseen cost. When you go to the checkout counter, you're not seeing the real cost of what this food is.
And would you address the product that I hate the most, high fructose corn syrup?
Yeah. Well, that's, again, sort of what I was just talking about. I think the corn subsidies came about in the early 70s because our food prices started to go way up. Oh God, I'm forgetting. Secretary of Agriculture under Nixon. I'm seeing his face and I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, there was a decision that by encouraging there was a decision to put smaller farmers out of business, create bigger farms, and create subsidies for corn and soy. And the reason being that you can store these crops. They don't go bad. It helps take the peaks and valleys, or it certainly takes the peaks out of food costs. But as I say, the problem is these costs come to you at a high unseen cost that we don't see when we pay for it at the checkout counter. So I hate when people say, as I have said before. Yeah, good water.